Hi everyone, and welcome to this Google Digital Garage session on digital marketing strategy. My name's Annie and I'm a trainer for the Google Digital Garage program, the free digital skills. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in marketing for most of my career, and I've also had my own online business. So I know the highs, the lows, and everything in between. And when it comes to strategy, it's a little bit of my passion. I write and create some digital marketing boot camps for a number of universities. So welcome, and please do let us know where you're signing in from, whereabouts in the world, and what brought you here today. What are your plans for your career or for your business? And how do you think this session might be of use to you today? So I'm not alone. We are so fortunate to be joined by Mohammed, and you'll recognize who Mohammed is by his name and also a blue spanner next to it in the chat. Now, we really do welcome you getting involved in this chat because this is where we can help you. So please do sign into YouTube and start chatting with us. It'll take literally seconds to do that. And just a tiny bit of housekeeping. If you're having any trouble seeing or hearing me, sometimes a quick refresh will iron out all those issues. Also, this is not a standalone program. So if this is your first time with the Google Digital Garage, you might want to drop to the link below at g.co/digital garage. That will introduce you to an array of topics that we do like this regularly. And we cover things such as finding yourself visible on Google Maps, for example. So lots and lots of things that could be relevant to this session, including social media strategy and many, many more. So please do sign up. Another thing to note, if this is your career journey and you're interested in digital marketing from a career perspective, we actually also offer a free course in the fundamentals of digital marketing as well. And that's all accredited by the Open University. So if you go to that link I mentioned before at g.co/digital garage, you'll find out more information. So just a few hellos there. We've got Danica from the Philippines. Hello, Danica. Thanks for joining us. Dejla from France. Hello. And Dee Watkins from the UK. So this is fantastic. And somebody's just asked, Dejla, will it be available on replay? Yes, it will. It's available at this link for around 24 hours. So please do return if you want to take down some further notes after this point. Okay, so today we're going to be all about digital marketing strategy, and that completely starts with an understanding of the current landscape. So we're going to have a quick look at what's happening in digital marketing today and how it's evolved from traditional times. We're then going to look at the main channels. So there's lots of channels now available in digital marketing, and they all can seem very appealing. But there's some main 6 channels that we're going to have a look at, and we'll discuss those throughout the session. And then we're going to finish off with doing a bit of a top line example of a digital marketing strategy. And at that point, I really welcome you to take down some ideas and try and apply it either to your place of work or to your business so that you can take away your own mini digital marketing plan. Now, if you are a small business in the UK or a charity, then you can benefit from some free mentoring one-to-one online. So you just go to g.co/UK mentoring. Perhaps you want to reach new customers, perhaps you want to build loyalty, or perhaps you just want some ideas about what to do next with your digital marketing strategy. So please sign up to this program, and myself and Mohammed in the chat and many more people will be there to assist you at a time and date that suits. Now, looking at digital marketing, the world has changed so quickly, hasn't it? It was the TV that took 50 years to come into place, and the internet in a year took as much gravitas. It grew as fast. So things are happening really, really quickly. Games, for example, like Pokemon will get millions that follow on very quickly within a year, and even months, people start to get gaining of people interested through the digital marketing channels. And how it's changed is it used to be all about pushing out information through a TV set, so one-way communication, but now we can interact both ways. And what we're really trying to do is replicate the little store down the street where we met the person who owned the store, and they knew us and we knew them, and they knew what we wanted to buy and what we wanted to buy alongside that item. So the digital marketing world is giving us an opportunity to really collaborate, to really talk to our customers, to get to know our customers in a way that was never really possible before the advent of the internet. And it's giving us so much opportunity. So that in mind, what opportunities do you feel that the digital world will offer you from being online? Please do share in the chat. So a few more hellos. We've got Sofo from Georgia. We've got Ishika from, I'm not sure where from, Ali from Malaysia. We've also got Muthia as well from Indonesia. So lots and lots of places. It's wonderful to meet a global audience again on this session. Fantastic. So yes, do share in the chat. There's a bit of a delay from when you share the information and I collect it in the back. But do let us know, what do you think the opportunities are from getting online? So now we're a really mobile world, aren't we? We are completely led through our phones, let's be honest. They're a friend in our pocket. We go there for all the answers. I know my child no longer asks me. It will Google it, or she will Google it, not it. And lots of things that we can do through the internet. We can become more sophisticated, more knowledgeable. And it's changing the way we behave as humans. We're really relying on our devices to tell us everything we need to know, whether it's to connect to information, to people, to locations, and to places nearby. So it's being very much a game changer having mobile, because it makes it have power that we never had before to do our own research in so many different ways and get the answers to anything we ever really want. And just a few more hellos. We've got Just Being Real from Kenya. Ishika, to be more visible to customers is an opportunity. Absolutely, that's very true. Visibility is such a huge thing that digital marketing will offer. And D. Watkins, engagement with potential customers on a wider scale. Absolutely, fantastic answer. Yeah, it's about how many people we can reach through that engagement. Angie from London, re-educating after a few years career break in digital marketing. Fantastic, welcome back. I'm glad you joined us. So do keep the chat coming. Thank you so much for joining in. Yeah, and we've got Muthia saying get potential customers. Absolutely. So as somebody's already mentioned, reach globally is now possible in a way that before we probably only managed to get people down our street. We can now find people in other countries that might be interested in our product and service. You can see on screen here, it's something called Google Trends, and we can start to see by location and by time periods and by keywords where people are interested in certain products and services in the world. So perhaps we might find that our products are interesting to other countries. Or perhaps we might find that certain words and keywords are useful for us to describe our product better where we are. So for example, we might think we're selling trainers and other people might be looking for sneakers, and that may still be in the UK. Who knows? It's worth having a look at what people search for and building that into our search patterns. So yes, people use the internet for search for businesses, to look for products and services, and to get found. And as a few people have mentioned, it's about that engagement, about that reach, about getting hold of as many people, as many eyes as possible. So do have a look at this tool, Google Trends, and I'm sure Mohammed might drop in a link for us in the chat to have a play with and see how it can help you. Hi, Jefferson, and you're from Liberia, but now live in Morocco. Fantastic. Naila from the United Emirates, and Brent from the UK. Used to do IT in college and media. Would be nice to progress in that aspect. Thank you, Brent. So hopefully there'll be something that you all take from this session today. Now, when we're creating our marketing, another great thing that digital marketing can do for us is give us insights into our customers. This is one of the most wonderful and useful areas of digital marketing, actually. And you can see here a screenshot from the Google marketing platform all around behavior. So we can learn things such as age range, we can look at their gender, where they're based in the country, and this can help us understand our customers more and make our materials far more relevant. So if we try and speak to everybody, we don't speak to anybody. So making our marketing materials relevant to our audience that are most likely to be captivated is a really useful thing for us to do. And with these sorts of tools like analytics or insights from Facebook at our disposal, we can have a better understanding of who is engaging or buying from us. And hi, Vanishkia from India as well. So as mentioned, the digital world has just expanded so widely, and it gives us an opportunity to speak to our customers, to communicate better. So it is about two-way communication. It is about engagement. And we can see that there's opportunities for us as customers to share our thoughts on any product and service. So many of you may have left reviews. And what's important with reviews is to get the responses back from those reviews, to actually have people showing that they care from the business point of view. You have to remember that one of the most important things is marketing is knowing that we are also customers, and how we are treated as customers is ultimately how we want our customers to feel well treated as well. So if we think like a customer, we can't go far wrong. And when we communicate publicly, others will see it. So being mindful of that and showing that we care and that we're responsive is such an important thing to do in the online world. And it's such a speed of communication. There's many different ways that we can communicate now, through social media, through reviews, through email with our customers. And that's an opportunity for us to create a positive relationship and partnership with the people that we want to connect with from a business point of view and from potential customers. So it is a real opportunity. So we're just looking now for any questions. Right now, there aren't many questions, but please do keep them coming through. And Mohammed, I'm sure, will be answering some of those in the chat. But for those bigger questions where I feel that we're all going to benefit, then it will be nice to share with me so that everybody can get an answer to those questions. So do keep them coming. Now, there's lots and lots of digital marketing channels out there. It really is quite explosive in terms of digital, but it still remains that the key 6 that we're going to go through now are the most popular and the most important, really, for us to pay attention to at this time. And so as digital does pick up speed, we can keep an eye on what's coming, but let's keep to grips with the most established ones now. So the key channels to consider for digital marketing, as we can see on screen, are the ones where we are going to captivate the biggest audiences and the best kind of interaction. So the first is search engine optimization. So we'll go through these in a lot more detail throughout the session, but this is ultimately now where the power of the internet is met with search and how it can give us opportunities to show up in the search engine results. The next is search engine marketing. So this is a paid version, and this is where we pay to show up in the search engines. And often that's very useful if we're looking, for example, as a new business, or if we've got terms that we may not be found for automatically, we might want to start showing up in the search engines on a paid angle. The other option is social media marketing. And this is a newer form that we're talking about, but one we are all familiar with. And I think most of the world is on social media now. And this is where we can start to build up people's awareness of us and engage with them, and much, much more. Display marketing, this is where now with the power of machine learning, we can appear in different places across the internet with banners and videos as companies and start to create some interest. Email marketing. So email marketing, this is where we start to collect addresses and we speak very personally to our email list, and we'll go through that more in depth later. And content marketing, this is where we can have lots of different content that starts to create a relationship with our customers and our prospects. So we're going to go through those in more depth now. So first of all, let's get started with search marketing. Now, this is really about how powerful search is to reach those new customers and to get found, because there is an unending opportunity to get found in the search engines. And the first thing we need to do is to think about what we call the search engine results page. So this is something that's showing now on screen. So at the top there in the yellow, you will see that this is a search query. And the search query is what we type into search to find out information for anything at all. Basically, it is something we use on the regular, and there are around 15 to 20% new search terms typed in every day. So it's always growing, and we are always using it, which is great. And then right underneath, you can see the shopping ads. So this is where, if you want to pay to get found in the search engines, this is an opportunity. And then below that, you've got the organics. So this organic search is where you have built up a reputation, an experience online over time, and then you get found by your customers for free, basically. So that is where it will appear when you are showing in the organic search. So the idea will be to try and fill up as much of this search engine results page with our businesses as possible, so that when people come to find you, they can see your full real estate of what you have to offer. So how to get started with search engines? So first of all, we need to think about signing up for Search Console. Now, some of you may have heard of this, some of you may not, but Search Console is a great way for looking at the technical side of what's happening on your website. So you use search engine optimization when you have a website, because it's about getting your website found in the search engines, or your local search in the search engines, which we'll talk about a bit later on. But basically, what you want to do when you have a website is to submit your content to Google, and you can do that through Google Search Console. Now, submitting that content is a bit like showing a map of a theme park to us as we're going through the entrance. It helps us to know where we're going, what we want to find, and how we get there. So by submitting a map to the search engines, it helps Google to know what goes where across your website and how to get to the different parts, the different roads, the different ways to get there. So giving your content and submitting it to Google helps the bots, the little spiders, virtual spiders, crawl across and find out what goes where. So it just makes it easier to understand. But also the Search Console helps us know how well we're doing from a technical point of view in the search engines. So it'll tell us if we've got any critical errors, if any pages are broken. You might have come across something that says, sorry, John, this page isn't working, or a 404 error, as we call it. That will come up in our Search Console results, and we'll be able to see if there's any breakages, which is very useful to know. And it will also send us any critical issues that are happening within the website as well. So all of that is very useful. The important thing here is when we're creating our search engine optimization is it needs to be easy to read and to understand from a technical side. And a part of that is how we name our pages and how we describe them. And by using the right keywords in the right places, we can start to give a bit of an understanding about what each of our pages is about in the search engines. So this is really useful for us because it will help Google recognize what we're doing, and it will help searchers match with what we're doing so that they get a good experience and they land on pages that are relevant to their search patterns. So this is what you can do by using Google Search Console and writing good pages as well. So just a few tips. First of all, do consider running keyword research. This is kind of the bedrock to everything we do in the digital space, because understanding how people search is what the keyword research does. It tells us who's searching for what in terms of the volume, and it also tells us how competitive those search terms are. So for example, if we're looking for running shoes, we can see how many people are searching for that in a given area. And it can also tell us how much competition is around that. So learning about the kind of keywords that people are looking for can be really useful for us when we're creating content or when we're wanting people to learn about what we have to offer on our website, because the terms can give us ideas and clues as to how to write our pages. It's also about making highly useful and valuable content. So when we are creating content, having a visual that matches what we're describing is really important, because a visual tends to tell sort of 10,000 words. It tells a lot about what we're trying to do. And also making sure that each of those individual web pages are looked after individually, so that when we are looking for something on the internet, we see a title and a description, which is called the meta description, and that should show up in the search engines when we're looking for a product or service. So making sure we get our page titles and meta descriptions in there is really important. So making it nice and search friendly so that we can be found as web owners, as business owners. But remember not to stuff in lots of keywords and be sneaky with that, because we want to be able to read those pages as a human. Whilst the technical side is looking for particular key search terms, if we put it in too often and it reads really strangely, then that will not give you more opportunity in the search engines. It's likely to give you a lot less, because when a customer comes and they're not interested, they will leave, and that will technically not work for you as well. So now, more and more, in particular due to our mobile search patterns, local search is becoming a very big area, and the near me searches are going through the roof. So as you can see on these different logos on screen, these are some of the ways that people find you in a more local sense. So Google Business Profile, you may have come across. If not, we'll be talking a little bit about that. But Google Business Profile gives you an opportunity to get found on the maps in Google Maps. Also, Bing have a similar version. We then have TripAdvisor. So if you're working within the hospitality industry, for example, restaurants and hotels, then TripAdvisor is a great place to get seen and for reviews to be checked and to be left. And Yell is the Yellow Pages online. So it's now yell.com. It used to be a big yellow book, but it's basically a directory. And lots of directories are useful online for us now to find things that we're looking for. And yell.com is one of the most well-known ones. So as customers, we use these tools to find out information about products or particularly services in our area. So we've got a session on getting visible on Google. So if you are interested in learning more about Google Business Profile, which I highly recommend if you haven't yet got involved, then do have a look at getting visible on Google, or getting customers on Google Maps, I believe it's called. And then you'll be able to learn how to set up this Google Business Profile. And there's lots of things that you can do with it now. But the important thing is to keep all your information nicely updated and a clear description of what it is that you're offering as a business, and maybe add a virtual tour. So we have something called 360 Street View. It's not the highest quality of all things available, but it is free to try. So if you want to give people an opportunity to see around your venue, if you have, for example, a cafe or a store, then you might want to try that and to use that within your Google Business Profile. And remember again that those reviews are all important. So responding to customers, good and bad, is really important, because we need to be seen, understood, recognized and heard. So have a think about responding to those reviews. The other thing to consider is if we're not showing up straight away in the search engines, then we might want to consider paying to get shown. There's lots of reasons why we may get seen in the search engine optimization, but it takes quite a lot, in fact, 200 signals for us to be showing up there. So if it does take a bit of time, which it can, particularly if you've got something that is really specific like pizzas, and that would be generally anybody in the world looking for pizza in any area, then it may take longer for you to get seen on the internet. But if you've got for example, pizza with a particular postcode and a particular shop name, you may appear much more quickly. So if it takes a while to show up in the search engines, you might consider search engine marketing. So SEO itself is free, but as I say, it takes time and resources to actually get found in the search engines, and you pay to get found in an auction with the search engine marketing. So there's two options, and often they're worked well together, and that's because they both start with keywords. If we understand our keywords, we can optimize them. And by using search engine marketing, we can learn which keywords are effective and see which ones are converting for us and are getting the best opportunities. And we can then optimize those keywords for our search engine optimization so that our content in the search engine is better found, because we'll know what keywords are working for us. And as mentioned, it can take a bit of time, depending on what you're trying to be actually found for in search engine optimization. So if you want to get on your page straight away, or you want to take up more of that real estate in the search engine results page, it's a nice idea to consider some Google advertising in there. So to get started then, the first thing we need to do is to set up a Google account. So we log into Google Ads and then we go to the search area. Now, getting started is important, and getting our organization of those ads is also key. So we can arrange our ads around different themes. So for example, if we are a shoe shop, but we sell lots of different kinds of shoes, we can start to organize them into categories. So for example, men's boots, women's shoes, Wellington boots, for example, winter Wellingtons, that kind of thing. We can put them into different campaigns and different areas so that we can add the correct keywords under those campaigns and make it all neatly done. That will be much more effective for us in looking at our results. We can then look at different match types. So for example, if we sell chocolate ice cream, but we don't sell strawberry ice cream, then we might want to put a negative around the strawberry ice cream so that that doesn't come up for us. So there's different kinds of match types that we won't go into depth on now, but there's different match types that can help us to keep that either broad or more specific in terms of how people are searching as well. So it is a way of getting just exactly the kind of things that we're looking for in terms of the customers so that we're getting the clicks we really want. So it's a nice way to make our match types very specific to what we're trying to sell so that we get the clicks that matter, and to refine it by taking out those clicks that we don't want, like chocolate ice cream, even though we love it and we want to eat some, because I do at the moment. If we don't sell it, then we don't want to attract that traffic, for example. And the other important thing when we're creating Google Ads is thinking about how we write those adverts. So bringing those important keywords, but also matching it to what your customer's looking for. So for example, if your customer wants something quick, then think about an advert that's around speedy delivery if you're doing pizzas. If it's somebody who wants quality, then it's about quality ingredients. And if it's about price, it could be that you've got a special offer on. So you could try different ads, see which ones work best, and see which one your audience is particularly keen on. So a few tips for success then. First of all, looking at that keyword list, I'd spend a while looking at the keyword tools. So we've got tools on Google Ads, which is called Google Keyword Planner. And on there, that's where you see how many people are searching and how competitive it is, like I mentioned earlier. And you can optimize those keywords that you think are most useful from those lists. And as I say, there's new searches happening all the time. So do dip in every now and then to check how many more keywords there are that you could possibly use and try and take advantage of. Also, there's ad extensions. Now, do keep on top of the Google support pages because these sorts of tools get updated very regularly. But the ad extensions help us to see more opportunities in the search engine results page. So under the ads, we can start to see particular pages, which we call site links, and see different areas of our website very visibly and quickly in the search engine results page. Or there might be a call now button or an offer that pops up as well underneath. So there's lots of opportunity for us to extend our presence in the search engine results page as well through extensions. And now a lot of that is done in an automated way, but have a look at the policies and see what you might want to do with creating more opportunity in the search engine results page. And of course, don't forget to connect your analytics account if you haven't yet, because the only way for us to measure how effective something is to see the results in the analytics. So how many people are coming to the page, what they're doing there, where they're dropping out, and where they're converting, where they're buying from us, are all useful things for us to know as business owners or as people that work within digital marketing. So the analytics account gives us the customer footprint of what they do when they're on our website, and it can give us clues as to what's working well and what's not in terms of the landing pages. So now we're going to have a quick look at display marketing. So display marketing is a responsive way. So it's all about machine learning. Basically, it creates relevant ads for us around the internet. So it often comes into different areas like news blogs, interest blogs around the internet. So for example, if I'm selling toys and I'm a toy maker or a toy seller, then I might want to appeal to parents. So there's a website you may have heard of called Mumsnet. And if they offer these sorts of ads on there, we could promote ourselves on those particular channels. So in display ads, it gives us an opportunity to promote our content to places where people are already trusting and hanging out. So if we have particular audiences in mind and we know who we're selling to, display ads can be really useful. And they're very visual. They come in all shapes and sizes, from banners to videos, and we can even show up on eBay and Amazon. So there's lots of different places we can show up when we're looking at display ads. So display ads used to be called context-based or contextual-based advertising, and that's because it's about creating a context around the adverts that we're wanting to create. As mentioned, trust is so important. If we already go to a website, for example, Mumsnet, and we trust that website, if an advert appears in that particular website, then we're more likely to trust it. So it's showing up in those particular interest groups, in those audience profiles that we already know exist to our customers. So for example, if we know that we are looking for parents, then it's great to use a tool that is promoting towards that particular group. So we can find out the particular people that we're aiming at, the audience profile, and we can connect with them. So first we have to set up a display ad, and we can do that through the Google Ads account in the same place we would do Google advertising. Then we can use our keyword targeting and also our placement targeting so that we're using the right kind of search keywords to the right audiences. So we're looking at those placements, for example, Mumsnet or Tech Radar or news blogs, whichever, Amazon, whichever we think our customers will be on. And then we can target over interests, demographics and topics and be really tailored to our audience. And we can make it nice and catchy. And if we keep it nice and simple, it will be attractive to our audience. And of course, we want them to do something as a result of seeing those ads. So now we've got nice rounded buttons, and you can put what we call a call to action in there. So something like buy now or visit our store, for example, and that will help us to get results through the display. So display advertising tips for success. First of all, we need to understand our customers. So we understand our customers as a priority. So understanding who they are, where they're from, and what their interests might be are all very useful to us when we're looking at display ads. And then we can remarket to them. So remarketing is, you may have gone on the internet and seen a product or service somewhere across the internet. You may have gone on the website and watched a video or added something to cart or even bought something. And then a while later, maybe days, maybe a week, something will pop up while you're browsing the internet and say, are you interested? For example, it might not say, are you interested, but it will show an advert around something that you've already been looking at. So that's called remarketing. So it's very handy as business owners to be able to find those people that have already shown engagement and interest in our business and show them an offer or an idea of what we're doing in terms of a banner ad to them wherever they may be on the internet. And the important thing here is to test and optimize. So see what works and try it again. So by using analytics, we can see what is effective in terms of our advertising as well. So just to give you another example as regards remarketing. So for example, if I went on a holiday website and I was looking at, I won't give a brand name, but I was looking at a particular brand of holidays. You might want to share one in the chat. And I was on a particular page for, say, cruises. Suddenly, say a few days later, you might see an advert pop up that says about an offer on a cruise ship when you're looking around the internet. So that is really familiar to you because you've seen something about cruises before and you've had a look at those before. So sometimes those remarketing ads will show up as a nudge to you as a customer to maybe go back to those particular ads to that particular company and have a look at those. So hopefully that can help with your question there, Vanshika. I hope so. So in regards to social media marketing, so this is where we connect and we have a two-way conversation. If we just put out posts and we don't engage, it's not very effective in the social media world, because it is all about collaboration. It's about creating those conversations, getting to know our customers, having a conversation with them and learning about what they want, what they like and what they care about. So it's very good from creating awareness and letting people know who we are and what we do, right the way through getting them interested in our products and services and even getting them to buy and particularly to come back. So creating that loyalty and relationship with them. So at all stages of what we call the buying funnel, social media can help us because it can help engage, attract, and get involved with our customers right the way through to keeping them as a loyal customer as well. So social media can do lots of things to help grow our business. One of those is to generate more sales. So if we want to try and attract more business, then we can use social media to do that through a number of different avenues, such as reaching new audiences, new business opportunities, and also being able to target those demographics much more concisely. So we can find out a lot of information through social media on people's life stages, their interests, what they like, and get involved in conversations that matter to them. Also, we can add value to our brand. So as mentioned, the two-way is really important in the digital space. So we could use it as a customer service tool and create that conversation where we're answering questions for them on these different platforms. Some people, for example, might choose a particular platform just to raise their customer service levels. So some people have used Twitter to focus on the mission of improving customer service. And depending on the size and style of your business, you might choose different platforms for different reasons. But having that two-way exchange and that customer relationship being built on social media really adds value to your brand. You can also build your own community. So some people use social media to connect through their personality and showing behind the scenes of their brand so that you can really start to know who you're talking to. Remember that corner shop that we mentioned at the beginning and how digital is trying to replicate the corner shop experience? Well, in social media, if you bring your personality forward, yourself forward, it builds trust and connection, which is much better for your business. It can help improve your marketing overall. So, for example, if you are on LinkedIn, then it gets shown up in the search engine. If you have seen a hashtag, that's where your marketing in the social media sense is coming up in the search engine results pages. So you can gain a lot more exposure in the search engines as well as you can start to keep an eye on your competitors. So what are they doing well? What are they doing badly? And it gives you a wealth of information about how you can improve. Often looking at other people's reviews and seeing negative reviews can give you an opportunity to actually respond to those negative points from your competitors and do something better within your own business. So there's a lot of opportunity in improving your marketing by keeping an eye out on social media. And just like in the search, we can use organic and paid in social media. So we do get shown, but to a smaller audience that engages with us who are already following our page on social media. So if we want to expand that reach and get more people to know about us, then we're likely going to want to pay for that as well, so that we can show up in other people's feeds that are not following us, and also so that we get engagement from our existing following. The idea really in social media is to get people as engaged as possible. And one of the best metrics to consider is the engagement over the likes, generally speaking, because the engagement shows that you actually care about what you're doing and your customers care about it too. So that two-way exchange is always positive in getting results in social media. But if you do find as well that something works really well for you in the social media space, then I would pay for that to be promoted to your audiences as well, because that is a good test when you're doing it for free to be able to then pay and amplify your message to further people as a result. So to get started with social media, I've mentioned audience a few times, and it is a good starting point for anything in the digital marketing space to know who we're talking to. So think about your audience and define them. You can use your Google Analytics tools or social insights tools, and that will tell you information about, for example, their demographics, their location, their profession, interests, for example. But also reach out to your existing customers, send questionnaires. So there's something like SurveyMonkey that you might want to use to send out to your customers and find out their thoughts around their interests and collaborate with them on building your brand further. Then think about your channels. So you don't need to be on all channels. You just need to be where your audience are. So when you send that survey out, find out which channels they are present on and start speaking to them on there. You have to think here about resources. You don't need to be on lots of channels. Most people are on about 2 or 3, and that seems to be enough. But think about the goal for that channel, the mission for it. So we talked about perhaps customer service, or the other one might be to create brand awareness or loyalty. So have a think about what the main mission for the channel might be and how each piece of content you put out there needs to be of value to you. What are you using that piece of content for? What do you want to achieve as a result of that content? For more information on this, we've got social media strategy sessions. So do sign up to that at g.co/digital garage. And keep the content fresh. So we know something is alive and kicking if we hear from it regularly. So if we haven't heard from a friend in a year, we wonder, are we still friends? And it's the same thing in the social media space. Keeping content regularly and reasonably regularly is an important thing to do. But make sure it's not too much so that the people become overwhelmed, but it's enough to keep them knowing that you're alive and kicking, you're fresh, you're interesting, and use different kinds of content to engage them, because we all learn differently. Some of us learn through audio visual, some of us through reading, for example. So think about video, blogs, lots of different kinds of content that you might want to showcase to engage your audience. So here's some tips for success. First of all, start with a goal. As mentioned, you want to try and focus on one thing that you want to achieve from the piece of content you're putting out there. So is it going to be brand awareness? Make sure that you've got that call to action button to send them to your website if you want to get more website traffic. Or is it to get some answers, create a poll and learn about your audience? Think about what your goal is for each piece of content, but also for the platforms that you're looking at and if your audience are on there. So understand if your audience are on there, what their interests are and what they care about, and keep an eye on your competitors and see what you can learn from them as well. And remember that consistency and regularity is really important in keeping people abreast of what's going on and interested in what you do. So now we're going to look at email, and email is even more important now that we've got mobile phones, because it all lands in our phone and we have access quickly. And it also helps to build that engagement and personal approach with our customers without breaking the bank. So email marketing is essentially where we get an email landing in our email box, and now it needs to be by permission. So here in the UK, we have something called the GDPR, which is basically about the rights to saying no to wanting not having content coming to us that we don't want. So we sign up and we opt in to any email now. So that means that anybody receiving an email in the UK through permission, they are hot and interested in what we have to offer. So it's a really strong way of communicating with our customers. And it's by invitation. So because it's by invitation, we want to make sure that we're giving them the content they want when they want it. So we need to think about how regular we send that content, and we need to ask them how regular and what kind of content they may like, for example, so that we can keep them coming back. So to get started with email marketing, you might want to think about a mobile email platform such as MailChimp. So MailChimp is free, I think up to 2,000 subscribers, and you can start creating some emails within there. And it's good to create different email lists and to different groups. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But making sure we've got that commitment from the customers for us to send the content, and also making sure we're sending the content to the right people is key. And then treat our customers like the VIPs they are. So if people are buying from us, it takes a lot more, it costs a lot more to get a new customer than to retain one. So treat them as such and give them special offers, very special offers and deals that are only for them. And also keep giving them information that's personal and useful to them as well. So a few tips. Remember to segment your lists. So for example, if you're selling dog food and cat food, you don't want them going to the same person, unless of course they have dogs and cats, but generally there'll be the dog owners and the cat owners, and you want to send the right products to the right lists and the right information about dogs, for example, to the list, and cats to the list. So making sure you segment those different groups. Also, make sure you test it on different devices, because your email may look brilliant on laptop, but you need to see how that also comes across on, for example, an iPad or on your phone. And then check how well it's performing for you. So how many people are clicking through your email and how many people are actually engaging with it. What you don't want is more than a 1% unsubscribe rate from any email campaign. That would suggest that perhaps you're sharing too much information or not the right kind of information or too frequently. So have an assessment about what that kind of content is doing for you, and keep well maintained with your email list to make sure that you've got the unsubscribers out of there and the people that are focused in there as well. And check as well how many click-throughs you get. So how many people are opening your emails and then clicking through. There'll be two different statistics, and you'll want to see whether your subject line is creating a lot of people opening the email, which is good. But if when they get in there, they don't click on what you want them to within the email, you might want to think about the content you're writing within the email body as well. So have a play with it and see what works for you. So now, last but not least, we're going to look at content marketing. And content marketing, some people say, is king, because in essence, it's the storytelling of your business, your products, your services, and your brand. So it's about engaging people in a storytelling approach rather than sell, 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 because I think most of us now don't really respond to selling. We respond more to emotion. And the emotion is what engages us. And from very young, we are used to storytelling. So content marketing can deliver that. So content marketing involves a number of different parts of content, and that includes videos, blogs, case studies, and guides. So videos are a visual, they're motion and sound, like we're watching now. And that can give us sometimes a little bit more energy than just reading for some of us. So videos are a nice way to do how-tos, to demonstrate a product, to tell the story of our brand and our background, for example. So there's lots of things we can do with video content. Blogs, they can be long, they can be short form. We also have a session on creating YouTube videos. So have a look at that at g.co/digital garage. And that will tell you about the different kinds of video forms we create. But also in terms of blogs, we need to think about, do we want to write a longer one, a shorter one, and try out different types. And depending on what we're talking about in our blogs, some of those will lend ourselves well to longer versions and some to shorter, to skim reading. But what's important in blogs is to have a subheading so that people can quickly read and scan, even if it's long. So think about subheadings within your blogs as well. Also, guides. Have a think about guides. Guides are important if we're wanting to sell something that is particularly expensive and takes a lot of involvement, a lot of thought before we buy it. So, for example, cars, we might want to create a guide as to how to look after your convertible, something like that, for example. And case studies. These are important if we're selling to other businesses. So from businesses selling to other businesses, we want to let them know why our businesses are doing well and how it's worked for other ones, so that people can see how it might work for their business. So all of these are building awareness, trust, and engagement about our brand, our services, and our products. So getting started with content marketing, first of all, we start with our persona, our profile. Now, we do have sessions that go through our personas. Build a business brand is a good one for that, so do sign up to that. But it's important here to create a vision of who we're talking to, because as mentioned earlier, if we try and speak to everyone, we actually don't speak to anyone. We're not going to be liked by everyone in life. We're going to have a tribe, a set of people that will follow us. And we just need to understand who they are and make the content and the products and services that matter to them. So there'll be those people that we know that buy most often from us, or that are likely to buy most often from us. And they're the kind of groups of people that we want to create personas around. So do visit the Building a Business Brand to learn more about that. And then we can create different profiles for each segment we talk to. So we might have a number of different customer groups that we speak to, sometimes 2 or 3 that are the most popular. And that's where we can build out these personas and create content for them. Then we have to think about how a customer moves from awareness to purchase with us. So they first come across us at the beginning of the journey, maybe on social media, for example. And as they go through their journey with us, they might find us on search. And then later on, they may come to buy on our website. So it goes through a bit of a journey. And along those ways, questions are asked to the search engine about their concerns and interests around that product and service. And with our keyword planner, we can find out what those interests and questions are, and we can start to create content around it. So it's really useful to create content to help generate that storytelling and that process towards buying from us. And at the end, we always want to include that call to action so that we know people are doing something we want them to do. We forget sometimes to tell people to buy now or to shop here, and we all need that nudge because we're busy people. So don't forget to include that. So here's some top tips for success. First of all, we're using it to facilitate the sales process, not to just talk about sales. So we're using that storytelling element to bring our products and services to life in a way that matter to the person. Basically, any product and service is solving a problem. So we're showing them the content of how that problem can be solved best. And we're doing that in a storytelling way so that we can engage our audience and they can understand what we're offering. And then we try and distribute it to as many places as possible. That's where content can be distributed to places like social media or on our blog, on our website, for example. And then we need to measure it so that we can see what works and repeat and make it better next time. So just a quick stop for questions. I can see that Mohammed's been brilliant answering all those questions for you in the chat. So Vanshika, we've got, can you please repeat the second point about ads with extensions? So Google ad extensions are about filling up the search engine results page with more opportunities to get seen there. And so recently we've had the machines, automated machine operated AI, helping us to get more and more information automatically showing up for what your customers might be interested in. But before we had to do more manually. So have a look at the Google search support page. But in terms of looking at the ad extensions, you can do anything from getting people to call you now, from having a call extension, or you might have a set of pages that you want to be shown, special offer pages, or if you're selling cars, new cars or old car pages, so that they can see there's different options available. So if you go in the search engine results page and you see a number of different options showing for a particular website, not just the website title and a brief description, but different sections of the website, that will be one example of ad extensions. And I hope that helps. Can you please, and again for Vanshika, can you please tell again what remarketing is with an example? So remarketing, I think I mentioned earlier, is where you go on a website and you look at a product or service of interest, and then later date, not always, but sometimes at a later date, you will be shown an advert that correlates with what you've already seen somewhere else. So remarketing is essentially there to show to people that have already experienced your brand something of interest and something of value to them to follow them up, basically. So I hope that helps. Any further questions, though, please do let me know, Vanshika. So finally, then, we're going to look at building a digital marketing strategy. So a digital marketing plan is going to be a nice, simple one that hopefully you can replicate in your own businesses or in the companies that you work for. And here's a bit of a framework. So there's 6 steps to building this plan. And the first one is looking at the goals and objectives. So we all need to start with a goal, otherwise we're throwing a dart into space and hoping it lands. So that's why we set a goal out for our plan. Then we need to think about the budget and resources, because we might have a grandiose plan, a really big plan, but if we don't have the money or the people to run the plan, then we need to be a bit more realistic about what we can do. Then look at our audience, which we've mentioned numerous times throughout the session, but it's important to know who we're talking to. And why that is valuable is because if we don't talk to everybody, not only is it more relevant, but it costs less because we're able to focus and streamline on the people that really care about what we do. So marketing is about reducing wastage and not trying to sell to everyone, but selling to that dedicated audience. Then we need to find out where they are, what channels, and focus on those channels so that we can appeal to those audiences where they are on those particular channels. And then plan our activity. So what kind of activity are we going to do to attract people on those platforms? And then measure it. So you might have heard of specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and time-related. That is a SMART goal. So that makes us very much target a specific area for improvement, to measure it so it can quantify the area of improvement we want to measure and how much by, and then assign it. Who is going to be managing this for us? Who are we going to pass that particular information to so that they can run it for us? and realistic. What results can we expect within a particular time frame, and what date by? So what is the deadline for this, so that we can see if it worked or not? So that's a really useful way to measure using SMART goals. So here's our business goals and objectives, and we're using an example of Max, and he is a hairdresser. So he has a business goal to get more customers through his door, new and past, and to make people in his area know that he exists. So a nice and simple goal that he just wants basically people to know more about him, but also to get customers coming back and new customers coming in. So that's the goal. But what could be an online objective? So an online objective, if we have a website, might be to increase traffic to our website. It might be to increase online sales to our website. It might be that we want to build awareness, so increasing our social media followers. Or it might be generally to create reach and awareness. So we might be looking at something like display. So thinking about our online objectives is important in getting started with our objectives. What we really want to do is align both our goals with our objectives as well. So our business goal, maybe we want to make people know we exist. And if we want our online goal to match that, our objectives online, it will be to get people to our website. So whilst we might have an offline presence and our goal could be just to go to the store, if we have online as well, it will be to let people know about us through the website and get us to the website. It might be to sell more products as a goal. But in the online world, that would be increasing our website sales, getting sales through the internet. Or to get found by more people, which in the online objectives could be to get more people engaged on our social media pages, or getting people returning to us. And often that will be coming back to our website, for example. So now thinking back to Max again, what budget and resource is possible for him? So he doesn't have a website, and for him, it's too much of an investment. So does he need a website? Perhaps not. Maybe he doesn't need a website. If he's got a hairdressing shop, he might not need a website at all. So he knows his audience as well. He's targeting females in his local area above 30 years of age, and he knows they're part-time and on Facebook. So it makes it much easier for us to identify the kind of channels that could be of use to Max. Next is the marketing channels. So this is where we think about the marketing channels that are right for us. So we talked about reach and awareness. If we're doing reach and awareness, then we need to think about the three areas that attract most reach and awareness. And that is display, where we know we can get found all across different corners of the internet, such as news, blogs, etc., as mentioned earlier. Social media, where a lot of people hang out. Or content marketing, where we create content that will be of value to people, that people can find across the internet. Increase website sales. To increase sales, we might want to look at search engine marketing and search engine optimization, so we can take up that space in the search engine results page, as well as email marketing, because obviously we know if they're known to us, they're more likely to buy. Increasing traffic to our website. So again, that replicates the same as sales, because if we want more sales, we need to get people back to our website. So that's search engine marketing and SEO again, and also email marketing. And increasing customer loyalty. So that's at the bottom of the funnel, where we want to keep hold of those customers we've already got and keep them coming back. So social media, as mentioned earlier, is a great tool for this, so we can keep them updated on what we're doing. Email marketing, again, treating them as VIPs, and content marketing, where we can really give them something of value so that they want to keep buying from us more and more. So back to Max in planning your activity. So Max has an online objective to reach more people in the local area and get more returning customers to his hairdressing shop. He doesn't have a website, so that's too expensive. So what could he do instead? So first of all, we could start with Google Business Profile. So that's that local business that we talked about that shows up in the maps, in Google Maps, where you can put your details of opening hours, what you offer, and visuals. You may see it when you go on Google Maps on your phone. So he could create a free website in there as well, because there is an option to create a website in the background of Google Business Profile for free. So if he's not selling products online, then he's just promoting his services. It's particularly useful for that, and he can create a free website letting people know about him. He can also set up a Facebook page, and that's where he can put all his reviews of his wonderful hairstyles. That will build trust and excitement around the products and services he does. And also he can do a Facebook targeted ad to his local area so people know all about him. So how will we know if he succeeded? First of all, we make it smart. Rather than just being broad, we get specific. To increase online sales by 20% within 3 months sounds much more clear than to just increase online sales. And to increase our brand awareness on Facebook, we know the platform then, by growing our audience with new people by 40% is much clearer than to increase brand awareness. So getting that specific about what platform, what time period, and what percentage will help us very much. So as mentioned, Max didn't have a website and he wanted to get local and repeat business. So this is an example of his plan. Feel free to take a quick picture of this and then to make your own plan for your own business. But his business goal was to get local people in through the door. He knows his audience. He is clear on his channel. He's using local SEO, which is Google Business Profile, and Facebook. He's building some activity around what he's going to do on those platforms. He's got a clear online objective, which is increasing online reach and repeat business. And then he's made it smarter at the end. So as a quick refresh, this is the 6 steps that you might want to take. Again, take a visual of that, and that will make it a nice, clear plan for you. So any final questions? Let's just see. Any final questions? None showing at the moment. Thank you so much for coming. And your next steps are go to g.co/digital garage, see the social media strategy, the create videos for YouTube, build a business brand, and many others that I mentioned throughout, as well as getting visible on Google. And if you are a small business, then do sign up to the g.co/UK mentoring. And thank you so much for all your time and attention today. Please leave your feedback in the chat and let us know one thing that you're going to take away from today's session. And I wish you every luck and hope to see you at some point soon. Bye-bye for now.